have found the Genesis frequency. This is Dr. Stephen J. Kazmina welcoming you in to another episode of a show that focuses on your whole life prosperity and success. Whole life prosperity and success by cooperating with the universal laws that are available to each and every one of us. This is Quantum Leap Goal Achievement, radical personal transformation, whole life prosperity and success. Now, stay tuned for another exciting episode that'll move the needle in your life from where you are now to where you want to be.
And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day it may be, wherever you are in the world when you hit that play button. So glad you did. This is Dr. Cause and Effect. Dr. Stephen J. Kazmina coming at you with another episode of the Genesis Frequency Podcast, all about leadership development, personal development, professional development, spiritual development, and just being a better version of ourselves, showing up today with excellence in all that we do, and making quantum leaps in the direction of all that we want to experience in our lives. That's what this show is all about. And today is a part two of what I kicked off last week, and we're talking about inner peace, because everything that we want to experience, we have to be it first on the inside, right? The model is always be, do, have. Always be, do, have. We have to be first. So we're talking today. Today's title, I should say, is "Inner Peace is Not Passive: 5 Practices for Living from the Inside Out." So in our last episode, I began with a radical but simple idea. In a world filled with noise, conflict, protest, and pressure, the most powerful place we can work is within ourselves. Yeah, within ourselves. Now, I briefly mentioned the Buddhist monks walking peacefully across the United States. I'm sure you've probably seen that. And they were doing this not as a political statement, not as a protest, but as a living embodiment of inner peace in motion. And so while most of the world reacts outwardly, they're demonstrating something far more enduring: peace that is cultivated internally and expressed externally. Think about that. I often quote one of my favorite, dearest, fondest teachers, the late Dr. Wayne Dyer, who said, pour your energy into what you are for, not what you are against. And I tell you what, there's a lot of I don't want to call them names because there's a lot of colleagues out there. There's a lot of people out there saying, you got to do this. You got to get out there and fight against this and about that. No, we pour our energy into what we are for. And if we're pouring our energy into peace and a peace-filled existence within and around us, we don't pour our energy into anger and hate. So let's use this and some of the examples and some of the teachings that these monks share to work on us. So I want to continue that experience and that exploration I began in the last episode. So I encourage you to go back and listen to that. I covered 5 points. All these episodes provide you tremendous value. And I know for a fact that people put little to no value on that which they get for free. Don't make that mistake. Every single episode I share with you is transformative and is about helping you to improve you. All right. So take notes. It's all about, hey, what is it? I try to identify for you what is it, how does it work, and what will it do for you? Then I move you into application and action in your own life, always giving you ways that you can apply this and action steps you can take. So let's explore the next 5. It really was a 10-point thing that I put together. So just due to time, I did 5 last week, 5 today. So this is part 2 of our conversation on inner peace, not as withdrawal from life. Don't make that mistake, but as a disciplined, conscious way of living and creating. So again, we explored the last 5 principles. Go back and listen to those, and we're moving into the remaining 5 today. And, perhaps these are the most practical of all because, you know, inner peace isn't passive. It's really not. It's not complacent, and it certainly isn't weak. Inner peace is actually trained strength. Think about that for a minute. All right, number 6 here, moving down our list from last week, the first 5. Number 6 is detach from outcomes. Stay engaged with action. And this goes way back to all my prosperity teachings and prosperity classes I have done. We want high participation, low attachment to outcome. One of the greatest sources of stress in modern life is attachment to outcomes. We work hard and then obsess. We prepare and then worry. We lead and then fear how we'll be judged. And I'll tell you, this has been my life and one of the biggest lessons I've had to learn and continue to learn, especially in this weight loss journey that I've been on. I'm just a couple pounds away from my target, but it's been an off and on battle for years and years and years and years. And part of the problem was the constant attention and focus on the outcome rather than pouring all my energy into participating in what is necessary to reach the desired outcome. So let's get back to this. I don't want to get off track. We can talk more about that, or you can reach out to me and we can have a conversation about that. But I want you to know that detachment does not mean apathy. It's not what I'm talking about here. It means releasing the illusion that you control everything. And there's a powerful distinction here. Action is your responsibility. Outcome is not entirely yours to manage. I mean, we do everything right. We make the choices, right? We make the decision. We set the intention. We make the commitment to the direction and to the objective and to the goals. But it's not all ours to manage. Inner peace grows when you learn to give your best without gripping the result. And and I guess what I'm talking about is that objective, that goal. While we don't change the goal, we change the plan, but we have to be a little bit fluid here, right? In leadership, this is essential, absolutely essential. You can prepare thoroughly, communicate clearly, act with integrity, right? And still recognize that the final outcome unfolds through many variables beyond your control. When you detach from outcomes, you move into that fluid state. Your nervous system relaxes. Your clarity improves. Your creativity expands. And we don't have to look at this through a negative lens either. You have to realize when we look at this through the lens of metaphysics that the universe is also conspiring for our good. So we don't put on the negative goggles. We know that the outcomes, the objective can be something far greater than we could possibly envision from our limited human perspective. And so when we're in this state, you stop forcing life and start cooperating with it. This doesn't make you less effective. It makes you far more resilient. I love that word, resilient. So ask yourself, am I doing the work or am I trying to control the universe? Inner peace lives in that distinction. So, yes, this is all about inner peace, but you have to consciously move to that place and be in a state of allowing. All right, number 7. I want to keep moving here because of time. Number 7, practice non-reaction. And this is really a discipline, and you want to respond appropriately from awareness, not from impulse. And that's one of the biggest problems we see in the world, right? React, 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 right? Practice non reaction. Respond from awareness, not impulse. Most conflict in life does not come from what happens, it comes from how we react. And we see this all the time. We see this in society, in our communities around the globe. I got to retaliate. I got to go get the handgun, right? Emails, conversations, feedback, unexpected change. The moment something triggers us, the body reacts before the mind has time to think. Inner peace requires space between stimulus and response. Remember that, if nothing else. Inner peace, and that's what you want to maintain, what you want to sustain, inner peace. Inner peace requires space between stimulus and response. That space is where freedom lives. Non reaction does not mean silence or avoidance. So I'd like you all to hear that. Just because I am not reacting in the way that you want me to react through this podcast or from the pulpit or from wherever or through social media does not mean avoidance. All right? It means choosing your response consciously. Instead of asking, how do I defend myself? How do I prove my point? You begin asking, what response aligns with who I want to be? What is actually needed here? How do I choose to show up? What do I choose to embody, model, and demonstrate? What do I choose to embrace? This practice alone will change your leadership, your relationships, and your self respect. Put this into play. Take action here. Apply this in your life. When you don't react automatically, you regain authority over your energy. You interrupt old patterns. And so often that's exactly what we need is that pattern interrupt. You model emotional intelligence. And that contributes to your integrity and your character. The poise that you bring to situations of chaos, turmoil, perhaps, challenges. So, peace is not the absence of challenge, it is the presence of awareness within challenge. These are key points. Make no mistake, these apply to you in your life, whether you're looking through the lens of your corporate space and your vocation, your role, maybe in ministry, in your job function, whatever it is, or in your personal life, in relationships. This applies. Find that application. All right, number 8, simplify the inner narrative. Can you do that? Simplify the inner narrative. We're not stressed because life is complicated. We are stressed because our inner narratives are complicated. We replay conversations. We imagine worst case scenarios. We carry old stories about who we are and what we deserve. Inner peace requires narrative discipline. This means learning to ask, is this thought necessary? Do I have to continue? Is it necessary for me to continue in the train of thought, in the way this thought has taken me, in the direction it is leading me? Is this thought necessary? Is it true? Is it helpful? Most inner tension comes from stories that either they belong to the past, are based on fear, or were never fully true to begin with. Simplicity, my friends, is not lack of intelligence. It's mastery. It is mastery. Leaders who simplify communicate better, they decide faster, and they remain grounded under pressure. Inner peace grows. I guess we're really defining poise here, aren't we? Inner peace grows when you stop rehearsing every possibility and start trusting your capacity to meet life as it comes, right? You're meeting it as it comes along because you're trusting in that inner goodness, that inner wisdom that is always available to you. But you got to do that pause, right? You got to move away from that that reacting state. You don't need a better story, all right? You need fewer stories. All right. Number 9, cultivate compassion. Can you do that? I know there's those out there that, compassion has no place in the workplace. I got to get this done. Well, what about compassion towards yourself? Oh, I don't matter in this. Only matters is the bottom line. Well, that's not true. Cultivate compassion, especially towards yourself. Many people do believe that. They believe compassion makes you soft. In reality, compassion makes you stable. Inner peace is impossible without compassion, especially self compassion. When you are harsh with yourself, your body tightens, your mind narrows, your leadership actually contracts. Pay attention. Notice what you're noticing. I used to say that all the time. I got to bring that one back. Your leadership actually contracts. Pay attention next time. Just notice when you're harsh with yourself, you're beating yourself up. Body's tightened up. Your mind narrows, perhaps your focus, and your leadership is contracting. It really is. Self compassion does not excuse poor behavior. All right. It creates the safety needed for growth. It allows you to say things like, well, I can learn from this without punishing myself, without beating myself up. I can learn from this. There's something in here. And I taught myself a long time ago because I was always doing this one, always beating myself up. Just, it was just my pattern, my paradigm. But I had to learn if there's good in everything, what is the good in this, internally and externally? Stuff that happens that I would generally react to or want to react to, what's the good in this? Especially stuff I have no control over. And within that, find the wisdom that I could gain and choose to carry that with me, not the story, not necessarily the emotion found in the experience. So, so when we do this, again, it allows you to say, I can learn from this without punishing myself. I can correct course. I can do a course correct here without shame because we're aware, right? We're noticing what we're noticing, so I can make a course correction. Maybe that's why this moved into my field of experience, so I could see it. So I could see this fork in the road saying, no, that's leading me where I don't want to go. That's the power of the will, the inner gatekeeper. I got to move. I got to make a course correction. You know, we know that rockets and spaceships are always course correcting millions of times, I think, every second. I'm not an expert in that, but I know it's some astronomical number to get to their destination. We can also it also allows us to, when we do this, it can to realize that I can still be human and still be effective. All right. So we have to incorporate that self-compassion. So from that place, compassion naturally extends outward. You listen better, you lead more patiently, you stop needing to dominate or defend. Compassion is not weakness, it's emotional maturity. And I think we can all ramp that up a degree, can't we? That emotional maturity. I know I sure can. And emotionally mature people, if you notice, they change environments, really, simply by how they show up. So if you want to change something, if you want to make a difference, examine how you're showing up. Be aware of how you're showing up. Instead of slamming your fist down all the time, I'm not saying you can't be against something, but model and demonstrate what you are for. All right, number 10, live from the inside out daily, every day, intentionally. All right. Don't just make this a feel good, oh, those are great ideas podcast you listen to. Apply this to your life and take action. Live from the inside out every single day and do it intentionally. All of these practices point to one essential truth: inner peace is not an event, it is a way of living. It is. It truly, it's a way of living. You don't achieve it once. Yeah, I did that last week. It's just something you practice daily. It is a way. Okay, you're becoming this. You're embracing this. You're embodying this. I live from this state of inner peace. It's in there, maybe buried, maybe covered up. But these are the steps that we take to peel back those layers of the onion skin, so to speak. Pull back the curtain. Open the blinds. I like that one. What are we blind to? It's in there. Living from the inside out, the practice this daily, living from the inside out means beginning your day grounded, choosing your inner state before engaging the world. Very important. Before your feet hit the ground, you're telling your feelings how to feel. You're telling, I this is my intention for this day. I'm going to be grounded in that state of inner peace. Also, returning to center when you feel pulled outward. So set that intention in the morning before your feet hit the floor. But remind yourself you're going to return to center when you feel pulled outward to the outer. You want to stay grounded. You want to stay grounded in that place. So it means recognizing that your attention is creative. It is. Your attention, what are you giving your attention to? It is creative. Where are you pouring your attention and your energy? Your inner posture shapes your experience. What you're experiencing in the outer is shaped by that inner posture. Your presence influences more than your words ever could. And this presence, it's all coming from that inner state. This is how the monks walk across a nation without shouting and still make an impact. Don't tell me they have not made an impact. Wow. They're not trying to change the world directly. They are being. Remember, it's be, do, have, right? Be, do, have. They are being the change they wish to see. And that principle applies just as powerfully in leadership, in business, in family and relationships, in personal growth, in professional growth, in spiritual growth. So let's look at that for a moment, just bringing this into your professional life. Let's make this real. Inner peace shows up professionally because I hope I didn't lose you here. If you thought, no, I'm working on my promotion, I'm working on the business, I'm working on growing the corporation, I'm working on our culture. It all starts here. It's be, do, have, and it starts with the individual. Inner peace shows up professionally as calm decision making under pressure, thoughtful communication, emotional steadiness in uncertainty, and ethical clarity when choices are complex, right? Your well defined values. People trust leaders who are not ruled by reactivity. Teams thrive around people who are internally anchored. Organizations move forward when leadership energy is coherent rather than chaotic. This is not philosophy, my friends. This is practical wisdom. Take it. There's tremendous value here. So I want to leave with you a final reflection. Just something to take, as I know so many of you that reach out to me for a conversation, do journaling, do writing, examine what's going on in your inner state, which is great to do. So you can constantly make that course correction, adjusting your frequency, adjusting that dial, right? So, final reflection, you want to think about this. You cannot control the world. All right. No amount of your anger is going to change circumstances and events, not in a positive way, anyway. You can cultivate the world within you. And when the inner world changes, the outer world responds, often in ways you never expected. Inner peace is not passive, it is the most active, disciplined, and powerful choice you can make. So, as we wrap up this episode today, I just want to, I'm just moved to, really inspired to invite you to pause for just a moment, take a breath. Just take a deep breath with me and ask yourself, what is happening within me right now? What's going on? What is happening within me right now? Not to judge it, not to fix it, not to start a new narrative, just to notice that awareness right there is where peace begins. Notice what you're noticing. That's going to do it for today. I invite you to reach out for me. Let me help you along the path to accomplish your goals and your objectives. I'm sorry, get a little dry here as we wrap this up. But let me help you make those quantum leaps in the directions of what you want to achieve and experience in your life, personally and professionally, within your small business, within your corporation, within your corporate culture. Let me help you develop the leaders within your organization. Whatever it is you want to be, do, and have in your life, trust me, you can experience that. I invite you to think about the dream that you gave up on, the one that excites you and scares you at the same time. Because I absolutely, positively know that it's possible for you to experience it, to achieve it. And usually we need some help doing this, whether it's in our own personal life or in our professional life or within our company, organization, ministry, nonprofit, whatever it is. We need someone along the way to walk with us, to notice the blind spots and guide us. Perhaps I can be that person that helps you with that. My company, this is what I do. I'm also looking to train other leaders that would like to do this kind of work with me in the field of personal and professional development. So reach out. Successappointment.com gets you on my calendar. For now, that's going to do it. This is Dr. Cause and Effect, Dr. Stephen J. Kosmina. You've been listening to the Genesis Frequency Podcast, and I wish for you an infinitely spectacular day. And God bless you, and please, please, please share these episodes. Spread the word. There's tremendous value here. God bless you.